Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This is a tricycle ride, a motorbike with a sidecar on it, basically. And we are going from Cordova in Mactan Island, which is in the southwest end of that island. And we're going to Grand Mall in Lapu Lapu, which is the city that encompasses a big part of the island of Mactan. And every time I take out my little camera, Filipinos see the camera and wave and smile and whatever else. Like the driver behind us right away, he's smiling and appreciates having his picture and or video taken. So anyway, come along and take a look at Mactan Island, Lapu Lapu, Cordova. The personality, the character of this area is a little bit different than Cebu City and many other cities as well. It seems like a quieter city. It's generally less expensive to live over here than it is in Cebu City or Mandaue City across the Mactan Channel. Anyway, come along for the ride. I am sitting side saddle on the back of this motorbike, and I think they've got 4 people in that little cab. I didn't think there was room for my friend to get in there, but she climbed over a couple other people and sitting on a little, looks like a kind of a box seat in there, cramped in there pretty good. These things are air conditioned in that the outside air comes through every opening there is. Sorry about the wind noise. You might want to turn your volume down just a little bit if it bothers you too much here. Forgot to bring my external microphone along on this ride. Anyway, most of these tricycles, I think the CCs of the motors usually run anywhere from usually 125, 150 on up. I've seen a couple of them 200 cc, and they probably have some 250 cc's out there. But boy, they pile the people in and they pile the freight in, and a lot of times you'll see people riding in on the back little place that really is meant for freight. So they get a workout every day, and they don't have a lot of power, but they just push them up and down the routes. Now, we were standing on the side of the road, and many of these, they're just like jeepneys. Each has its own special route, usually. And so we had about 6 of them pass by before we finally found one that was going to where we wanted to go, which is a Grand Mall in Lapu Lapu. So it's much like the jeepneys. They're numbered and or have a sign where they travel. We kind of had to call out to this person, ask, "Are you going to Grand Mall?" He pulled over, and I believe it was the cost was 9 pesos a piece, I believe. So total 18 pesos. 20 pesos would be for the 2 of us would be about 40 US cents. We spent much of a day over here. Initially come over, my friend wanted to see 10,000 roses, and that, you know, until evening where all the roses light up, or, you know, not much to see there. So then we headed back and stopped at a resort, looked at a couple of housing subdivisions, and the resort we stayed at, very nice, and ate there, and I will do a video about that in the very near future. I think one of my next videos will be about condominium corporations, I believe. I've been doing a little research there, and I've had a couple people ask me about some of the specifics and particulars. So hopefully in the next couple days I'll have that one put together. Anyway, I know a lot of expats that live over here on Mactan Island, and like I was saying, it's a little bit cheaper in general to live over here, to rent a house, but you can also get into the high-end developments, condos, and that type of thing, resorts, where they're selling units, renting units. Some of the resorts have relatively inexpensive rentals for a month or 2 or 3 or 6 as well. The only thing being, if your desire is to spend a lot of time in Cebu City, Mandaue City, the traffic during rush hour in the morning and afternoon, and afternoon rush hour starts probably about 3 or so, can get pretty rough. It can take you an hour just to get across the bridge. So that would be the one consideration to make in deciding where you want to live. The intersection we're going to come to up here is called the Crossing, and this road kind of takes the long route, the long way of the island, and then this road, after we take a left, takes us past the Grand Mall, and if you just follow this straight, it will take you over the old bridge, which is a 2-lane bridge going over into Cebu City, Mandaue City area. I have found several taxis that know what the crossing is when I tell them that's a landmark of where I want to go to, and I've found others that were completely clueless as to what it was. But that is basically the crossing of these 2 main roads on Mactan Island. If you're using one of these tricycles, you're the only one and you want to go to a specific place, your rate is going to be more as an individual passenger that owns that vehicle basically, and you don't want any other riders. If you're just one of many on there, you just pay the single price that the whole group pays, 8 pesos, 9 pesos, whatever it might be for the route that you happen to pick up. Many people in the Philippines wear, even though it's a very hot day, they wear very heavy clothing, sweatshirts, heavy jackets. Some of them have cloth wrapped around most of their heads, so just their eyes are showing, and they'll tell you it's to protect them from the sun. And it would be more comfortable to find some clothing that breathed and also reflected ultraviolet rays, but that type of thing gets rather expensive. So they use heavy jackets and heavy sweatshirts, and they'll have the hood up, and you know, it serves the purpose, and they're used to even now at 80 degrees and a little bit of breeze, and I'm walking, it almost feels a little bit chilly to me out there. Until now, if there's no breeze and high humidity, it gets a little bit oppressive anyway. The development on the right there, Sultana, seems to have stopped construction. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but I've been over here a number of times in the last year or so, and I've never seen any construction going on there. So I'm not sure what the story is. Buying into a condo development during the pre-building stages has its advantages in that generally that is the absolute lowest price you can get. But at the same time, it has its risks. If there's an issue where the developer or contractor runs into money issues, if there's an issue with the sometimes with the titling, corporation comes in, buys a bunch of land, they think they've got all the right permits and everything and titles, but then somebody comes up and says that they don't have clear title, and they have to stop until they find the proper ownership of one little parcel of that land that might be owned by somebody else, and they have to settle that with them. They might not have gone through the proper permitting process. Here is Savers Depot on the left, and then just up beyond that on the right is the Gaisano Grand Mall. And that's where we're going to stop and catch a cab from there back over to Cebu City. Anyway, thank you for coming along. Please like, please share the video. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and we'll see you next time.